guys, this is Comic Uno. Today I'm doing a review for Iron Man 3. Yes, the start of all the summer movies coming out. But before I start talking about this movie, just want to tell you guys there's a channel called Jagged, and Sarah Silverman is doing a video. It's very artistic, and if you enjoy comedy, definitely go check that out. There will be the link annotated, so go check that out. And here's the clip, so you can go have a little sneak peek of that Sarah Silverman video. So go check this out.
Mais était-ce un rêve?
And yeah, but let's talk about Iron Man 3. Now, in the beginning of this review, no spoilers. This is what I do with my movie reviews. There will be no spoilers in the beginning. That way, if you haven't seen the movie yet, you don't want spoilers, there will be no spoilers in the beginning. But then I'll give you guys a warning once spoilers come, because I know I want to discuss this movie also a little bit more depthly. So, once the spoilers come, I will announce it. That way, you can leave the movie, leave the review, or continue watching. But let's talk about this movie. So in this movie, we get to see the Mandarin is the big villain, and Extremis is part of this movie also, and they kind of mix it all together. Mandarin's this terrorist, and Extremis is the project that a new group is working on, and it heals people with no limbs, and these are the villains of the story, and it has to do with one of these old scientists that Tony met in 1999, and it plays on that. It plays on Extremis, it plays on Mandarin, and there is a big twist in this movie that will change your idea of Mandarin. And also it's a big Tony movie, less than an Iron Man movie, honestly. It's more of a Tony Stark movie, and I think that's the best way to explain this movie. And even though the relationship with Pepper and Tony is very expressed in this movie, and it breaks down Tony. You know, after Avengers, this is what happens, and it breaks him down. He's getting panic attacks, and again, I think we get to see his worries, but in his own way. So that was interesting in this. That's pretty much what happens. Did I enjoy it? And I'll describe more once I talk about the spoilers. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I think it was kind of a mixed bag, too. I enjoyed it a lot, and when I walked out, I was like, wow, this is really great. But it wasn't as great as I wanted it to be. I think it was very hyped. But I think there's a lot of good stuff in here, but I think there will be people walking out of the movie saying this isn't as good as I wanted it to be. And my friend actually was going to do the review with me, you know, Luke from Comic Duo, when we do some of our reviews together. He actually didn't really enjoy it that much, and I think I could understand that, because I think a lot of people do want a big action thing. They want more Iron Man, and they maybe they didn't really like the villain, you know. And I understand that, and I think people might walk into this movie and be a little disappointed because of that, because it wasn't as action-packed as Avengers, but I think that's understandable. This was an Iron Man movie, and, you know, I think, again, it was more of a broken-down movie, and a lot of people were like, oh no, it's gonna be dark, it's gonna be dark, it's gonna be gritty, it's gonna be unlike Iron Man, but it wasn't. It wasn't dark and gritty, but it was showing more of who Tony is in a way that's not too gritty, in his own way, and I really like that. Also, the comedy was really great in this movie. I mean, there's times in here where it might have been a little forced. The twist is actually something I felt like it was a very comedic thing, but it could have been a little forced also. But I think it was very good comedy, but it was every single good minutes, you know, every 5 minutes there will be a good joke, and I do like that, and Robert Downey Jr. is great at his jokes. I really enjoyed that, and that's what Iron Man is. I think it is a comedy and action, and I think if you walk into this movie knowing that, then you're gonna really enjoy it. But let's talk spoilers now. Yes, so if you don't want spoilers, I thought it was a good movie. I really enjoyed it, but I think some people might not. And I think it is a little overhyped, but still definitely worth watching. So, let's talk about spoilers now. The first spoiler I want to give is about the Mandarin. I was really disappointed with him. I thought he was funny. The twist is that we get to see Mandarin is not the real Mandarin. The guy with the beard, he's an actor, and the real Mandarin is the guy who made Extremis. So the way they combined Extremis and the Mandarin was a little bit disappointing, because I don't think they should have been combined. Mandarin's a magic guy. He has the rings, and they did not focus on that at all, and I thought that's what they were going to focus on. So I was kind of disappointed with that, and Mandarin as a whole. But I think he was still enjoyable as you learned who the real Mandarin was. And I think they could have just stuck with the Extremis story, though. I think they could have taken the Mandarin story and just taken it out of the movie, honestly. And I think that could have been really possible. And just had this guy maybe just be Mandarin, but you didn't have to have the actor. Was it funny? Yeah, but that was the part where I thought it was a little forced funny. He was a funny guy, yeah, but really disappointed with the Mandarin thing. I feel like with Iron Man movies, the villains really aren't that great. And I think with this, the main villain, the guy who's supposed to be the villain, was pretty cool. He was better than Whiplash, but whatever his name, I think it was Whiplash. He was better than him, but I think they could have just played on the Extremis part and just done that, and they really didn't need Mandarin, or that actor Mandarin at all in this movie. Let's talk about Pepper and Tony in this. I think that's something I enjoyed the most in this movie. I love their relationship. Probably my favorite Marvel relationship and one of my favorite movie relationships. So it was really entertaining. But when most of the reviews say that Pepper is not a damsel in distress, and that's true. Towards the end of this movie, she's not. But most of the movie she is. I mean, actually she's like the definition of damsel in distress in most of this movie. But I think she really holds her own towards the end. She has the Extremis in her, and she kicks ass, and I really like that. We don't get much girl power with these Marvel movies so far, except Black Widow, and I think still that's because of Joss Whedon who did that. He really made that character into a kick-ass character that we can enjoy. But we don't have that much girl power in a lot of movies in general. And, you know, we can make a whole video talking about that. But I think Pepper did a good job with the, you know, the action scenes and have some girl power, you know, and I really enjoyed that. She wore the suit for a little while. Did I want rescue? I've actually made a video like a year ago saying I wanted rescue in this movie. But I think that could really just definitely be built up in different movies. To have a rescue suit, because we saw her in an Iron Man suit a little. That was fun. We saw her even in the end with the Iron Man suit a little, and the Extremis, which was really cool to see, honestly. I really liked Pepper in the end of this. Again, I didn't like that she was a damsel for like half the movie, and you didn't really know what to expect with that, but I think she saved Tony in the end. She kind of saved the day in the end. So I really enjoyed that Pepper had a bigger role in this movie, and even Happy had a little bit of a bigger role in the beginning of this movie, which I was happy with that. And War Machine had a bigger, or Iron Patriot had a big role in this movie. So I liked this kind of the core Iron Man family that were in this movie and did a good job. I was very surprised with Pepper, really happy, even though, again, I wish they kind of had a little bit more action in that middle part, but that ending, saving Tony, really made it for me. Now, with Tony in the end, we get to see him take his reactor out, his arc reactor, and throw it away. He throws it away. His house in the end is destroyed. And I really like that, because I think it was a symbol of Phase 1 being over, that was the Avengers, and Phase 2 starting. It really is starting a new phase of the Marvel Universe, and I really enjoyed that part, and a lot of people are going to be like, oh, well, he just quit. But he didn't, you know, again, he's just starting over, and I think that's why this movie was stripping Iron Man down, to start over, to start this new phase. And I really enjoyed that about this movie, was the stripping down of Tony. And I really enjoyed that. Again, I just thought it was a great symbol to throw out the arc reactor and get rid of the arc reactor, and then use the arc reactor material to make Pepper's necklace, which I just thought was great, because the arc reactor is his heart and giving his heart to Pepper. So I thought that was great as a relationship thing in this movie. So I thought those two were great. Gwyneth Paltrow, Robert Downey Jr., both great. The acting was great in this movie. Now what else can I say? Again, I think the only disappointment was the Mandarin. It was a little long. I think there are some parts you could have taken out, but as a whole, it was a pretty good paced movie. The action sequences were good. The final act battle was okay. Again, I like that Pepper, like, you know, actually saved Tony in that part. But the final act, I've seen better final act fights. That could have been better. The ending credit, we should talk about. I was a little disappointed with it. It was Hulk being a therapist to Tony. It was hilarious, yes, but I wanted a big cameo. You know, for Guardians of the Galaxy, I heard it should have been, and I was waiting, and the ending just said Iron Man will return. I'm like, okay, but Guardians of the Galaxy was supposed to be the credit. Or at least for me, I was hearing Guardians of the Galaxy was supposed to be the credit for like for a long time, and I was kind of disappointed that they've been throwing Tony in Guardians of the Galaxy for the comic books, and now for the movie they didn't even show a cameo of it. So I was kind of disappointed with the ending credit. I think with Thanos with Avengers, even with Amazing Spider-Man, probably Green Goblin cameo, I feel like there's been better cameos for Marvel. Was it funny? Yes, but did I really want to wait through that credits just to see that? No, honestly. I was kind of disappointed with that. And also there was not really a lot of references in this movie I felt that I wanted with Marvel. They usually do a good job. They did Hawkeye, I think, in the second Iron Man movie. Or no, maybe it was Thor. Yeah. Usually they have some cool references, and they had Stanley, which they always have, which he had a cool cameo, but again, not one of his best. So I was kind of disappointed with the references. I was really looking for some, but they didn't have a lot. I mean, they mentioned Roxxon. Yeah, okay, that's a small reference. But yeah, I wish they kind of gave for the comic book fans to enjoy that. But as a whole, I enjoyed this movie. Again, I think it really put Tony to his core. The kid was fun in this movie. I think his name was Harley or something. He was fun, and him getting his own Tony-type laboratory type, I guess, mechanic, he called him. So he's becoming more of like a mechanic like Tony is. And again, I like that this was a Tony Stark movie and not an Iron Man movie. I think he says, you know, yeah, you see him, even when he was talking to Harley, like, you see him, that's Iron Man. But, like, it felt like Tony was a different person, but in the end of this movie he says, I am Iron Man. So, but I think it just showed in this movie exactly who Tony is. I think we forget about that. We forget, oh, he's Iron Man, this is all what he's built up to be. But I think we forget about the person. And in this movie, they proved who the person was. And that's what I really enjoyed about this movie. I think if you look at it like that, it's a good movie. I think if you do look at that, again, is it perfect? No. Is it better than Iron Man 2? Definitely. Is it better than Iron Man? No. Is it better than Avengers? No. But it's still a good movie. I think it's a good addition. Probably in the middle of the Marvel movies. I think it was better than Thor. I think it was better than Captain America. And if you like Iron Man, I think you really will like this. There's a lot of humor. You know, it's Robert Downey Jr. He does a great job with Tony. And I think it was a pretty good script. And again, there were problems. The final fight. I wish Pepper had the rescue suit. But I'm sure maybe in the next movie they really are starting over. So maybe we'll see that if they have an Iron Man 4. And the Mandarin was really disappointing. I think that was probably the biggest thing, was the Mandarin story. But I give it 4 stars. Solid movie. Tell me your comments in below what you thought about this movie. And again, my hype was up here. The movie was here. You know, it was a little bit lower than my hype, but still great. So 4 stars. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me what you thought in the comments below. And guys, hope you guys enjoyed. I will be doing more movie reviews, especially superhero movie reviews. So I'll see you guys later. Bye guys, this is Kamakuna.